Do you have a kind of like these would be my top 5, top 10 kind of?
Oh
Can you
man,
do that? I can't do that.
I don't think I could do it. I
I
don't
did
think
a I did it in 2006 and I haven't looked at it. So with and
it.
I don't have
Well, it was scary stuff. It's so hard because it's like I want to base it on the merit of how it scares me, and it only really
oh
scares you
sure.
the first time, right?
Yeah.
And then what scares you changes. Like when I was a kid, Freddy and Jason scared me. I watch those movies now, and they're more comical than they are anything else to me. But Quiet Place terrifies the shit out of me. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
like
sure. Well, fuck being out at that fall break this weekend there was one night where we heard a big noise and I was already freaked the fuck out because I haven't seen Mandy.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
like, oh god, is this the psychedelic bikers on the hill? Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, the what scares you definitely changes
And
as
that
you get
changes.
older.
So I mean, like Blair Witch Project. This was one of the reasons too why I didn't watch Blair Witch with Ash, is because it's like that was such a pivotal movie for me and for like us, and I remember that like it just inundated our us, like me and you.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing that was one of the first movies other than Can't Hardly Wait that I remember I saw it as many times as I could in the theater. And I gauged my experiences, like where I would pick show times where it would be light outside when I went into the theater but dark
Nice.
when I came
Yeah.
out. And then like we went and saw it at a drive-in because I wanted to go see it outside, like being outside and watching it. And it scared the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah.
But I know now if I watched it, I think it would be a little cringy to be
Mm.
like, you know what I mean? Like, um, Sixth Sense, I think would be on that list. That movie is fucking. I don't care who you are. That movie's terrifying. Uh, yeah, it would be hard. It's funny you brought that up because I'm like, I want to experience the scary movies, and I want
Mhm.
28 Days Later would definitely be on that
Oh
list.
yeah.
That one's
Yeah.
terrifying. Maybe I could do it. Maybe I could.
You could maybe tweet something closer to the episode. I had just thought about I could never do this easily, but I had this document that I had brought up in one of our first episodes. I don't know. I guess I
Yeah.
shouldn't show it, but I made it for the bride when we were first getting together. So I have this thing, favorites for the bride by David Allman, February 7th, 2006. No attempt at rank is made. Genres are alphabetized, and selections within are organized chronologically. This is like, here, I'll cover her name and show you this. You can see it on the YouTube. It's like a title page in a report, like in a folder.
You're not covering your name at all, by the way.
Oh fuck. Okay, I tried to, but it's like a title page, and at the bottom is this disclaimer.
Yeah.
And I'm almost. The editor owns, or parentheses, once has owned a copy or all copies of all titles, excluding entries marked with an asterisk, which may simply indicate a purchase not yet made.
Oh, jeez.
All synopses are excerpted from Amazon.com and the Internet Movie Database. Actually, I based that criteria of having to own the copy on Palmer's picks because I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that's what you said at the time, like how to decide whether or not you would make it one was like, would I want to own this? So I took that to heart.
Yeah, no, I can still justify that, I guess. I'm kind of, as much
It's
as
less,
you're,
yeah,
as,
it's
as
less
much as you're
important
still
these
like
days.
fighting for media, I'm part of me is like anti-media, just on the idea of, I just want access to it. It's the media is neither here nor there if I can still just have access to it some way, you know. I don't get
I
that
need the
same
stuff.
I don't get that same if I got the experience that you get of like holding something and like looking at the box art, and I know I'm not I definitely don't think that that's a shortcoming of yours. It's just I don't I could give or take the media. if I knew I could just watch it anytime I wanted to watch it. Because I just get the urge to see something, and that's when I want to see it. It's not that I need to have the collection of it there or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
sometimes for me, like it's almost the opposite. Like just to see it on the shelf is enough.
Yeah.
And I realized recently, because we've been kind of thinking about, we're slowly working our way towards getting a different house and living somewhere else. And I realized in the last 2 weeks, I was like, I really want to have a library, like something we call the library. There's nothing else in that room but all the media that exists in this house. It's kind of spread out. I realized that would make me incredibly happy. And then I was joking about making card catalogs. Which may or may not happen.
It will happen.
Probably.
It may or may not. No, it will happen. Yeah.
I have this. That's so overwhelming. I got other stuff to do. But I didn't. So I thought I'd just read these because I think it is a top 10. I made it with these crazy criteria with the bride. And we don't need to get into these, but I just thought it'd be, because I don't know what they are off the top of my head. So I was just going to read them off.
Yeah.
All right. They're not numbered. But okay, so there's a category for everything. There's a category for JCVD movies.
Yeah.
My top 10 JCVD movies. Not for this day. But okay, so and then I had stuff like Midnight Matinee. I really bent the categories to be able to talk about a lot of different movies. But these are the ones I designated specifically as horror.
Okay.
Chronologically, Nosferatu, both 1922 and 1979. Directed respectively by F.W. Murnau and Werner Herzog. Stand by that. I probably stand by all these, I'm sure. Frankenstein, 1931 and 1994. Directed. So look at me, like I found ways to make it already. It's 12.
Yeah. So true.
Directed by James Whale and Kenneth Branagh, respectively. The Wolf Man, 1941. Hell yeah. The Exorcist, 1973. Only the original, not the version you've never seen. They fucked with it too much. An American Werewolf in London, 1981, directed by John Landis.
Yeah, that's a comedy to me.
That one scared the living shit out of me when I saw it in my teens. Like the way it is funny, but like the way that monster, you kind of don't see it, and when it does jump on like Jack in the woods, and it's like it's very like a jump scare. It's like, and then like he's like, Jesus Christ, he's getting his throat ripped out. Scared me for real when I saw it in 7th grade.
But that's like one scene, and then like his best friend, all the stuff with his best friend, and like all the dying, rotting corpses of like the victims that like follow him around, like all that's funny. It's all like totally a comedy to me.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Though it scares me more than it's funny to me. Even now, like when he hit that transformational scene where he's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that shit is fucking
so
scary.
All
like,
of it.
Yeah.
That movie, it's very fun. And it occupied a special place in my imagination as a kid because one of my very favorite things as a kid was the Thriller VHS that you could get. I got it from Giant Eagle all the time. Maybe Mainway Market. Is that what we said? Mainway?
Yeah.
Possibly there too. But
they're remaking that American
Thriller?
Werewolf in
American
London.
Werewolf in London.
And I think that is that Leonard Maltin? Did he direct that?
Oh, John Landis.
John Landis.
Like Maltin.
Yeah, sorry, Jesus.
They look the same.
They do look the same. I believe it's John Landis' son is directing it.
Oh, that's fun. I'd be totally into that.
So I could be pulling all that out of my ass.
No, that seems like a thing I want to be true.
Yeah. So
that 1981, 1987 Hellraiser. I'd say, but I love that. I saw that movie because in the original liner notes to Pretty Hate Machine, Trent Reznor thanks Clive Barker and Prince, among other people who inspired him. But I remember seeing an interview with him on MTV where he's like, some of what I'd like to do next is score work. I'd love to do stuff like the first Hellraiser movie.
Wow.
It's funny the things that guy mentioned in that interview was basically what he would do with his career. He mentioned that and he'd like to do like a female fronted band. Stuff that he did, but like took him another like 20 plus years to actually realize.
Hellraiser is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, that's the famous line from the trailer for that is Stephen King saying, "I have seen the future of horror.
Yeah.
His name is Clive Barker." Yeah, that first Hellraiser, and it's pretty cool. 1992 Bram Stoker's Dracula. I like that quite a lot. Excuse me. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola. 1994 Interview with the Vampire. Maybe not super scary, but still stand by liking that. 1999 Blair Witch Project.
Yep.
Fucking A. And then finally in 2002, 28 Days Later. Directed by Danny.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm not sure what would... I mean, off the top of my head, things that would enter that, which... It's definitely not what actually scares me, but just like things I think of as horror that I like. Dawn of the Dead entered that for me in the last like 10 years as a movie I really, really like a real comfort film for me.
I think if I could separate this is the horror, like this is my top 5 or 10 horror movies, and these are my top 5 or 10 horror movies that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Those would be like different categories, I think, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Horror movies that I love that don't necessarily scare me, you know.
Yeah, same here.
And then movies that scare me but I don't think are really good horror movies. They just ping something in me that scare the shit out of me.